Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fabs in the house, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm in the house with this straight. This is a very unique set that you probably won't be able to see unless you're checking Fablades on YouTube, because it's a very, very unique set. This is straight from the 10 to the Jack to the Queen, King, and Ace from the Vegas, Born in Vegas series. This is the Private Cards 5 projects, and it's part of a private project that went on, I believe, around 2016, and it involved Dmitry Sienkiewicz to design these guys and Sergei Shirogorov knives to manufacture them. So these are very, very unique pieces. There are 54 unique knives. And when I mean unique, I just, when I say unique, I just mean it because if you see on the back spacer, each one has a engraving. For example, this is a 10 of clubs. You got the Jack of hearts, you got the Queen of clubs, King of hearts, and Ace of spades. So each one of them has a unique certificate of authenticity. And right over here, you get the 10, you get the Jack, you get the Queen, you get the King, and you get the Ace. All of these are signed by Dmitry Sienkiewicz and Sergei Shirogorov. These are just one of the coolest certificate of authenticity that I've seen because they represent each card, and they also have the suits which are colored matching to the, if it's black, it's gonna be Zirk. If it's red, it's gonna be copper, like in these cases. And you can see how beautiful it would be, to see the whole set together, but probably it's not gonna happen ever. Already that this trade is happening is just insane. So this is the lock side I want to show you, and I'm gonna go through some details for these guys. So for example, if we just remove these guys, we start from the 10 and we check them out one by one, right? So you see that's the 10, and so from the 2 to the 9 they were simpler made, and then from the 10 each number they just get a little bit something more because they go up in value, of course, and they go up in the scale, of the values of the cards. So up to the 10, you can see that there's like 2D scales. So when I mean like flat surface right over here, and it's a smooth surface with no milling whatsoever. You of course have internal milling to reduce weight on both sides, even on the lock bar. If you see, it's just milled out. You get a stainless steel lock face insert, which is glued in, epoxy glued in from the inside, right over there. You get, of course, Dmitry Sienkiewicz custom bits just for the pivot. This is, I believe, T10 for the handle screw. Hidden hardware for the pocket clip. You got, of course, Zirk spacer and zirconium collars for the pivot. And you get a Vanax 37 blade steel across the 54 knives. So they all are sharing titanium frame lock up to the King, Vanax 37 blade for all of them, and up to the 9, the unmilled and flat scales. So you go up one notch and you get to the Jack, in this case of hearts, so it's gonna have the matching collar with the spacer, right? But here, what it gains is like a 3D milled surface. So maybe from this perspective, you can appreciate better what I mean. So one is flat, and you go up in value, and it gets a 3D milled set of scales, but with a micro milled surface. You gotta check it out really, really up close. You see the micro milling, whereas right over here, you just see my fingerprints. There's no micro milling, maybe. From this point, you get to see And I mean, everything else is going to be the same. So you get the same everything. You get, you know, the V cards or cards V, laser engraved in the lock bar cutout, which is external. And another little difference is that the pocket clip also is going to be 3D milled. You see, this is 3D milled, this is just flat to match better the scale. So from the 10 to the jack, you get this bump in features. So you get to the queen in this case. So retains, of course, the 3 milled scales. They're going to be maintained as you go up. But here you get some even cooler milling going on. Of course, it's a black suit, so you're gonna get zirc color and zirc spacer. Same thing goes for the pocket clip. It's gonna be milled. The jimping is the same. I mean, there's nothing that changes. So you get some very cool milling, and here you can see micro milling versus actual milling. So the king is gonna get an inlay, right? Which is milled again with the same wavy pattern of the queen, but if you see the frame also has the micro milling that you see on the jack. Very cool copper inlay milled, matching the spacer, of course, and everything else just stayed the same, except for the fact that you lose the pivot colors and you gain a larger pivot. I mean, you get some pretty nice inlays, and when you move up and you get to the ace, that's when you have like a really serious bump in price and in exotic materials, because this is a zircuti scale, and I mean scales, and it's just fantastic. So it gets the 3D milling, the milling, and the fancy exotic materials and the larger pivot. Everything else is going to be the same. These are like really good knives, extremely rare, like super hard to find, and it's pretty cool because when you when the project was going on, there were like a little bit of like obstacles, not obstacles, but like things like you would have to do in order to acquire these, because it was a very limited project. So there was a spinning fidget spinner, like a pocket roulette. You can check also my review for that, where it was needed to be able to access these guys. And also like there were like some beads that were made for the project. So it was a really cool project. There's not much information about this because it was a one-time thing. These guys are really hard to find. I couldn't find any official pictures about them. There is not much literature about these, and because it's just like a rare project and not very well advertised. I don't know why, but that's the fact. And here you have the chance to check them out, like all lined up. I think that it's just something really cool. Another little difference, this shouldered part over here, you see, kind of like in the Sebenza style, just happens on the 10. It's lost right over here. So I don't know why, but that's a little detail. Also, like the chamfering, if you see on the lanyard hole here, it's a nice little detail. It's off center, which is beautiful. So it's just down, right? Whereas in these guys, it's not. So it's just centered. So that's a nice little detail that I noticed. And of course, like you have, like in this case, some like scalloped bottom of the handle, whereas on the other one is just like normal. So of course, let me actually just do a little bit of size comparison just to give you an idea of how big these guys are. 85 millimeters, so pretty much neon size for the handle, 11 for the for the blade, and that's the handle. This is a mini quantum, and you get to see pretty much how that is, and that's the neon 3D, so just a little bit smaller than the neon an L, and just a couple of bigger boys. Of course, I gotta show you like a coordinal because it's also from Sienkiewicz and Shirogorov, and just an F5 silk in the mix because it's blue and that's blue as well. So, and there's some zirk. So these are, you know, nicely matching, you know, zirk. There's no zirk here, but still there's a lot of coolness going on in the coordinal. And you get the idea of the size. If you want to know about the stock thickness, you get 3.4 millimeters, and kind of like, let's see, behind the edge at this point is going to be 0.5 millimeters. All these guys are running on multi-row bearing system where you can actually see right over here the logo. You notice, where is it? On this side, inside, there's the Bear logo, Shirogorov, and you get the Sienkiewicz design. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit dark right inside. So the handle is kept pretty clean, except for the ace of spade, and that's the only marking that's on the outside. Love the sterile blade going on. So this is fantastic because of the size, because of the ergos, the blade shape. It's one of the nicest knives I've ever had. It's like, because of the rarity, I mean, is super rare. I mean, there's one of these guys. It's crazy. And I mean, the lines, the swedge, this little jimping is not really functional, but it looks very good. You get some nice swedge. Look at this, retaining the tip thickness, and pretty much, yeah, like maybe 80% belly, nice sharpening choil, classic Shirogorov plunge grind, finally stone-washed Vanax 37 blade steel. You get stainless steel lock face insert, MRBS, lanyard hole, hidden pocket clip screw. Guys, the milling is extensive on the inside, even on the lock bar, which is extremely hard to do. And I mean, you get all the bells and whistles in this super smooth knife right over here. I mean, across the whole 54, but yeah, you get the idea. This is probably the perfect size for a knife. Like, neon size is getting a lot of attention from me because of the size. I mean, I love like a bigger one for sure. Love the coordinal, but I find that these guys are, even if my hand are larger, but I find that is my preferred size. And this guy, I mean, it looks just gorgeous, great in the hand. It sounds also very good. I mean, nothing special when you flip it, like it's not like that, so that's another level, but still, we are talking about something pretty cool indeed. And this is the Shirogorov Sienkiewicz design mini Cannabis Vegas 5 cards from the Born in Vegas project. So there you have it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.